Welcome to Gronder Field. The Battle of the Eagle and Lion is the climax of this game's first act, the part of the story that's concerned with the three houses and three houses as three houses at the Academy, and not as proxies for their respective political factions. This mission marks the end of the first act in gameplay terms, too. After this battle, the shops will be upgraded with new things to buy, many more paralogs open up, we get access to new tools to help train our units faster, and we can start buying advanced seals to promote to the 4th tier. This is an impressive map. It is genuinely a three-way battle. The two opposing houses, the Black Eagles and the Blue Lions, can and will seek out and fight each other. If you want, you can sit back and let them duke it out, then simply mop up the survivors. There are some downsides to doing that, though. On Maddening, each other house gets stacking bonuses to strength, magic, defense, and resistance when their team has defeated 3, 5, and then 8 opponents. You miss out on a lot of experience if you just let the other two factions eliminate each other, too. And there's also a special objective to defeat more enemy units than the other two houses. If you do that, you win a Blessed Lance. That will not be a problem. In fact, we're going to blitz this thing so fast that the Blue Lions and the Black Eagles will never meet. The Golden Deer House is going to defeat every last one of them. There's a chest tucked away on the far side of the map that's pretty easy to miss. It contains a Killer Lance. In addition, there's a nice set of stealable items here. The best known and most useful of these are the rings held by the opposing house leaders. Dimitri has an evasion ring, whereas Edelgard has an accuracy ring. These are nice prizes, but both of them have fairly demanding speed thresholds. I'll come back to that in a moment. There are also two enemies with leather shields. One is Dedu, and the other is Ferdinand, or in our case, Fake Ferdinand. These aren't that useful. I really wish they'd been steel shields instead, but I'll grab them anyway because they're on my way. And you never know when having hot swappable +1 protection might come in handy. I'm deploying the entire original Golden Deer House, plus Claude's girlfriend. For this month, I've cooked deified fish twice, along with one regular speed meal. Now everyone has +2 dex, +3 speed, and +2 def. Byleth is back in Mercenary so that he has 5 movement again. A key part of my strategy is to send him all the way across the map, and therefore that extra move is essential. Since I've been planting Nord Salad seeds and harvesting speed carrots for most of the game, I have 5 of them on hand. I've given 1 to Byleth to put him at a useful speed threshold I'll discuss later. Claude is now a Brigand. I'm trying to get him into Warrior ASAP to learn Wrath, so he's using axes full time. I bought a hand axe to give him a ranged option that still boosts his axe rank. Lawrence reached B Reason, unlocking Ragnarok. That's typically an A rank spell, so it's far more powerful than what anyone else gets at B. Early Ragnarok helps Lawrence match or exceed the damage that other mages can do, despite his lower base magic stat. Raphael is his usual self, a big HP pool and a pair of fists. I've had him study bows quite a bit, and that pays off with his access to Curve Shot, which is a really useful tool here. Ignatz is one of my 2 thieves. At level 12, he naturally has about 14 speed. The Thief class gives him 2 more, and my meals add another 3, putting him up to 19. But I want to send him down the east side toward Dimitri, and Dimitri has 22 speed. To steal from him, Ignatz needs 23. Therefore, I've given him my other 4 speed carrots. Lysithea has returned to the mage class where she belongs. Her shiny new Vantage ability isn't going to come into play here, because she's taking the long way around and won't have to deal with more than 1 enemy at a time. Still, she has a chance to master mage here if I use her enough. Only Byleth and Claude are going straight over the hill at the middle of this map, and neither of them has magic access. Even though Marianne will be going down the east side with Ignatz and Raphael, she'll be just close enough to support the center with Physic. Hilda is my only flyer. She's strong enough to go toe-to-toe with some of the scariest enemies on the map. With her mobility, she'll be able to pick the Blue Lions apart. Leonie has stride duty once again. Fortunately for her, this is the last time she ever has to use the Holy Monks, so she can look forward to a nice power boost just from having better battalions in the future. Last is Petra. She's my 2nd thief. Her natural speed is fantastic. She's already fast enough to steal from anyone on this map. Since Edelgard is 1 point slower, I could save a speed booster by making Ignatz steal from her and sending Petra toward Dimitri. But Ignatz benefits from Hilda's personal ability and Raphael's link bonus, and he'll make good use of that full +4 to speed for the rest of the game. Flame gives bonus damage to Byleth as his adjutant. Since Monk gives equal bonuses to Reason and Faith, and Byleth has higher Reason ranks to boost Instruction in that skill, it makes sense for Flame to work on Faith here to help unlock Rescue. That's why she has Nosferatu equipped. Like Flame to Byleth, Ferdinand provides 2 extra power to Lawrence. And Balthus is attached to Lysithea because she'll get into a good number of battles while pursuing Mage Mastery. Plus she could use the extra hit. Now let's get started, shall we? Keep in mind that I rotated the camera, so we're now looking south. East is left, west is right, north is down. There are a few event triggers on this map designed to make the 2 opposing teams advance based on which side you attack first. However, you can circumvent them if you engage both factions simultaneously. With a stride boost, Ignatz can run just far enough to hit all 3 of the closest blue lions with Blaze, pinning them in place. That makes it easy for Raphael, Marianne, and Hilda to follow him. On the other end, Petra can charge into this forest tile to attack a Black Eagle's Cavalier. And with the aid of Lysithea's drawback art, Lawrence can run ahead to attack the other Cavalier as well. Both of the horsemen will attack him now, so he's using Nosferatu to keep his HP up. I gave Claude the March Ring so that he'd have enough movement to shove Lawrence 1 more space to the south. That's the only thing he needs it for, so I make Byleth take the ring afterward. Hilda repositions Leone closer to the western team before flying toward Ignatz. The reason for all this maneuvering is that I want to use Stride again on turn 2, with Claude at the center, so that Lawrence, Claude, Byleth, and Lysithea all receive the boost. Petra, Lawrence, and Lysithea are going west toward the Black Eagle Pegasus Knights, and I want Leone to join them, which means I want her to end up as far to the southwest as possible after the Stride. So she needs to be close enough to reach Claude, and she needs a tile south or west of him to be open. Lawrence was occupying the tile just south of Claude. That wouldn't usually be a problem, because she could still go west of him. However, in this case, the space west of Claude is a wasteland tile that reduces cavalry movement. If Leone were to go that way, she'd be stuck there. Claude's shove got Lawrence out of the way, and Hilda's reposition got Leone close enough to reach that open grassland tile, and then to ride 1 more space to the west. For his part, Byleth needs to run up the hill to battle Bernadetta, and then I want him to reach the heal tile on the far side. 11 movement thanks to Stride and the March Ring puts him south of Bernadetta, and then 6 movement on the next turn is just enough to get there.
I got this.
You're too kind. Oh, me?
By using drawback on Raphael, Marianne moves herself 1 space farther than she otherwise could. This lets her run into the forest near Ignatz unassisted next turn, while keeping her out of Ash's range for now.
Thanks for that.
I'm putting Petra in range of the closest Pegasus Knight. She has more than enough speed to handle that. Unfortunately, the mini bow doesn't do effective damage to flyers like other bows can, but at least it's accurate. Lysithea waits in range of Ferdinand's substitute. Since Bernadetta targeted her with the ballista, Lawrence heals her up. He also grabs a magic staff from her. I deliberately kept it off Lawrence on turn 1 so he wouldn't inadvertently kill either Cavalier. Bernadetta has Vantage, but if you only attack her at 1 range, it's never an issue. Ignatz has no use for the Golden Deer bracelet now that he's used up his only gambit, so I have Marianne take it, just in case. If Ignatz had dodged both attacks last turn, Marianne wouldn't be able to heal him. However, when Raphael levels up, he has a 95% chance to gain HP, in which case Marianne can go to the same position and heal him instead. Hilda and Ignatz can now make short work of the other Cavalier. Petra steals the first leather shield. Because Lawrence easily kills with Ragnarok, Lysithea was able to use Fire, which is weak but accurate, on the last enemy phase. Likewise, Break Shot on a Steel Bow gives Leonie enough power to finish off the Pegasus Knight. I'm having her attack from here for extra support points with Lysithea that she wouldn't get otherwise, but I have to be careful when I'm moving someone with Canto less than their full movement. This game will happily let you pick a suboptimal path through rough terrain, wasting movement points. After a trade and a heal from Lysithea, Leonie is holding her Iron Bow Plus while just in range of the second Pegasus. Because she got through the forest last turn, Marianne is close enough to heal Claude now, without a reposition or a shove from anyone. Once Byleth is on this heal tile, he doesn't need extra movement anymore. I have him send the March Ring to the convoy in favor of a shield to reduce the damage he's about to take. There are some scary enemies up here. Dorothea has pretty high speed and gets Darting Blow, making her a major threat, especially to Claude. Among the Blue Lions, Ingrid has Darting Blow too, and so does Felix somehow. Combined with his major Crest of Fraldarius, that makes Felix really daunting to face on enemy phase. By moving here, Hilda can peel Ingrid and Felix away from the other Blue Lions. Only those two and the Cavalier next to them activate. Ingrid flies north to attack Hilda, and Felix reliably runs west. Raphael was close enough to rally Hilda's strength. With the aid of Hilda's reposition, Ignatz can also reach her. He's bringing Rally Dex. Rally Speed still wouldn't stop Ingrid from doubling, but Rally Dex can make Hilda's counterattack much more accurate.
Nice. If you and
Notice that the Thief replacing Petra has Alert Stance. I'll want to bait her on enemy phase so that she doesn't get the extra avoid from waiting. The Blue Lion Cavalier's behavior depends on how Ingrid's attack goes. If she hits twice so that Hilda is weak, he'll ride north. Otherwise he goes west toward Byleth. I prefer the former, although I can handle the latter if it happens. It just makes things a lot messier. To start this turn, I'm equipping a bunch of different weapons. There's a chance I could have to use a Divine Pulse here in a moment. If you rewind all the events after you equip new items, that change gets undone too. So sometimes you can forget to redo that, and then you end up burning a second pulse that you really shouldn't have. By making the changes now and then doing a 100% sure thing, I'm effectively locking in the new equipment. I want to stay away from Felix, but I also want to pin this Cavalier and prevent him from attacking me. With Assembly, Hilda can pull him away from Felix, and she also moves back one space, so her one remaining movement gets her out of Felix's attack range. Raphael can use Curve Shot to weaken the Cavalier further without attracting any other enemies.
You're too kind.
The Black Eagles are now on the move. I have to stop them. My little squad north of the hill can handle fake Petra. Leonie can ride right into her range with no fear, but it's actually better for me if Lawrence comes along too. Reposition gives him the extra movement he needs to get there. Additionally, Petra's swap sends Lysithea one space farther south. It'll be a lot easier now for my two mages to catch up with Lawrence and Claude. Claude locks down this brigand with Disturbance. Once he's rattled, Claude actually doubles even with the hand axe. And that's useful because Caspar has a ranged axe of his own and is going to target Claude. Byleth has a decision to make. His Blaze Gambit can freeze multiple enemies here, up to 3 if he targets Dorothea. Aiming at Hubert, he only hits 2. Either way, because Byleth has Authority level 3 equipped, he will defeat his target. One important factor is that Hubert has a 3-range spell and Dorothea doesn't, so if he uses Blaze on Hubert, then Dorothea can't do anything. That would leave the mage free to move, but with his speed, Byleth can kill the mage on the counterattack with the Sword of the Creator. So with all that in mind, the correct choice is to target Hubert.
Another step.
I feel
To a degree, it matters whether Linhardt procs his minor Crest of Cethlean when healing Dorothea. More on that in a little bit.
I'm not done yet.
Felix is coming for Claude, who has no chance against him right now. Claude needs to retreat. Petra weakens fake Petra so that Lysithea can finish her. After that, we still have a lot to handle down south. Dorothea is still deadly, Caspar is still going, Felix is bearing down on us, and Claude is at critically low health.
I thank you.
Fortunately, we have just barely enough resources on hand to make this work. Leone can get close enough to attack Caspar, and her break shot weakens him enough for Byleth to defeat him. Using Ruptured Heaven, Byleth can do this without suffering a counterattack. Now it's up to Claude to handle Dorothea. Felix complicates this. He has 21 AS with his steel sword, but 27 on enemy phase because of Darting Blow. Thanks to the 1 speed carrot I gave him, Byleth had 24 speed to start this map, just enough to avoid getting doubled as long as his weapons don't weigh him down. Unfortunately, the Sword of the Creator is too heavy, so when Claude attacks Dorothea, he has to switch Byleth over to a lighter sword, which won't have the Creator Sword's ranged capability. As a result, Claude won't get Byleth's Link bonus, so he loses out on 7 hit and 2 attack against Dorothea. Furthermore, if Linhardt's Crest had activated, Claude wouldn't be able to win even when using Helm Splitter with his Forged Steel Axe. Instead, he'd have to resort to the Diamond Axe art, which has much less accuracy. The Eastern team has to find a way to get to Annette. Her position is kind of annoying. It's hard to reach her without attracting attention from Sylvain. If you do activate her, she has a habit of running back toward Dimitri if she has no targets in range. Also, her wind spells have a noticeable crit chance, which can mess you up even if you do everything else right. With help from Ignatz, Hilda has enough movement to fly over the woods north of Annette, shoot her from 3 range, and then retreat out of the knight's range where only Annette can reach her. If Byleth doesn't have enough speed, there is a backup strategy. He can bring a Pure Water and use it on the turn he waited on the heal tile. With the extra res, the attack from that generic mage should leave him with enough HP to take 2 hits from Felix, provided that Felix's crest doesn't activate on either hit, which it will 64% of the time. Byleth can also save himself with a timely activation of the Crest of Flames. Against the Blue Lions, the next step is to bring Sylvain and Dimitri over. They both have ranged lances and a lot of power. Sylvain even has Death Blow, so I have to tread carefully. Marianne can survive a round of combat with Sylvain, so she's safe here, and her magic will do a decent amount of damage back. Raphael is slow and would get doubled, so I want him to stay out of Sylvain's range. If Raphael attacks with a bow at 2 range before Ignatz does so from 3 range, then Ignatz will get extra might from his link bonus with Raphael. In the opposite order, this doesn't work, since Ignatz only gets 3 range from a combat art. Luckily, Raphael gains strength on this map, so he has enough power even when he goes second. If the knight had moved to a different square, like the one north of Marianne's current position, then Raphael could have attacked at melee range and I wouldn't have had to consider this at all. There are only 2 Black Eagles left. Once I've dealt with Felix, I can turn my attention to Linhardt and Edelgard.
So nice of you.
Appreciated.
It's Petra who needs the March Ring's extra movement now. She gets a chance to take it from the convoy before she weakens Felix. 6 movement will allow her to steal from Edelgard, then visit the chest on the following turn. On Byleth's other side, Claude can take the leather shield that Petra just dropped off. Leonie gets in one more chip shot, then moves into Linhardt's range. Her res is pretty bad, but Linhardt's not terribly powerful. I'm breaking this Iron Sword with Wrath Strike on purpose. I like having a few broken weapons on hand, not least because I can give them to attack adjutants, and be reasonably sure that a surprise adjutant follow-up won't mess up my plans. Dimitri's movement seems to be somewhat randomized. The position he chose is the most convenient, but also the most threatening. Sometimes he'll end up on the far side of the stand of trees south of Marianne, where he's harder to reach, but easier to hide from. Ignatz steals Dimitri's ring right away. Ignatz and Hilda are both fast enough to survive Dimitri. Marianne and Raphael are not. So I have to defeat Sylvain. I have no hope of escaping him now. But I also have to position Hilda so that she prevents Dimitri from reaching the other 2. The key is to leave Hilda west or northwest of Ignatz, blocking the way between the trees. Dimitri doesn't have nearly enough movement to walk through the forests. I noticed in playtesting that Dimitri sometimes makes odd decisions about how to attack Hilda or Ignatz, so I'm postponing Hilda's move for a moment in case I want to fiddle with that at the end of my turn.
Thanks.
I wanted Leonie to defeat Linhardt in order to level up, so I rewind and change up my move order.
Leave it to me.
Thanks for that.
I will get the victory.
Ready and willing. I stand ready.
After a pair of heals, Claude is back up to fighting strength, just in time to face Edelgard.
I'll manage. Can I get... Not...
Stay focused.
Byleth marches off toward the Blue Lions' armored division. The goal is to eliminate Dimitri and then split the armor group. I want someone else to pull Dedu away while Byleth battles the generic knights.
I got this.
Who, me?
I had a practice run where Dimitri chose to attack Hilda at melee range from the grasslands, even though he could have used his spear from the forest, so I wanted to try that again and see if it worked.
You really...
And it happened again. but I had a different practice run where it didn't, so I suppose this came down to some bizarre avoid threshold or something. This amounts to nothing for my strategy, it's just a little extra experience for Hilda. If it hadn't worked, I would just have made Hilda defeat Sylvain with a bow. The important thing is to make Dimitri use his steel lance, not his spear. When he does that, it's safe for Marianne to attack him with her magic.
Ready anytime.
The only question now is how best to take Dimitri down. I'm checking damage to see whether Raphael and Ignatz both need Hilda's Advocate boost. When Raphael moves first, he puts his link bonus in play for Ignatz.
I want to go home.
Dimitri is down, but I'm not ready to engage Mercedes or Dedu. They'll have to wait a turn. Accuracy ring acquired, and just as I said, it's 6 spaces to the chest.
Careful.
I think it rules that Lysithea is tough enough to shrug off Edelgard's attack.
I have.
Break Shot helps Claude, and moving over next to Byleth leaves Leone in range for Lawrence to heal. That's the end of the Black Eagles. At least Edelgard can say she outlasted Dimitri.
I'm not.
I hate.
Lysithea will need to be healed. Lawrence can do it now and still get to Leone next turn.
I am still.
Byleth moves here to activate the armors.
Predictable.
Because Hilda is so badly wounded, the Dew moves toward her, and that's perfect. The Dew is strong, but he's slow, so you can effectively neutralize him with HP alone. I just need him to make the first attack so that his personal ability doesn't boost his defense. Hilda's counterattack against Dedu will deal 0 damage anyway, so I might as well make her use up my weakest bow. Marianne may be wounded, but she has more than enough res to battle Mercedes. She'll even heal afterward because she's standing next to a Pegasus.
Did the trick.
It'll be a while before the killer lance sees any action, but it's free, so no complaints here. I'm considering whether Claude should use a vulnerary, since both he and Lawrence could use Lysithia's healing. I decide against it. Lawrence should be healthy enough for what's left.
Thanks.
Let's get to it.
Since she's going into Paladin eventually, Leonie can use some more lance training. And by moving here, Byleth protects Leonie on two sides. The knights can't hit her from the south while Byleth's there, and they can't get around her either.
Predictable. It's
Like always, no damage on the counterattack means no gambit. Mercedes has Miracle. With her luck stat, she'll survive a lethal blow 16% of the time if she has more than 1 HP left. Raphael's gauntlets help me play around this to a degree. If the single big hit with a combat art doesn't work, the regular double hit advances the RNG by 1 and can give me a different result. This time I had no problem at all. I still have Dedu to deal with. Just like with that one armor knight in the marching room in the underground chamber, I can make Hilda equip her mace, then have her use Assembly to pull Dedu away. Here, he can only attack Hilda, and she can counter with an effective weapon. Since it'll be one more turn before I can beat Dedu anyway, I can milk this one for all it's worth. Lances render my mages useless against armor, and that's fine by me. Both Lawrence and Lysithia can use some more lance points anyway. Leonie moves to a position where she's a convenient heal target, and can give link bonuses against the knights with a bow. With a full Gambit boost, Lysithia has a pretty decent shot at this. Poison Tactic would make it so that one and only one knight could attack her. Petra can help. By handing over the accuracy ring she stole from Edelgard, she can bump Lysithia's listed hit rate to 80.
We will lend a hand. Ready and willing.
It would be bad if Lawrence had to fight 3 knights at once, so Claude defeats one now. You can see that Lawrence had just enough HP to survive even if both knights chose to attack him. The other knight would do a little less because he's rattled. Can't forget to steal this precious leather shield. Honestly, the reduction in Dedu's protection is more valuable than the shield itself. By vacating this square, Lawrence opens up room for someone else to defeat one of the armors while getting boosted experience from Byleth. One last use of heal is enough to make Ferdinand Master Soldier. Hooray! I haven't used Warp at all, so I'm trying to think of some intelligent way to do that. Lysithea might be able to send Byleth over toward Dedue, where he can boost someone else's experience gains too.
This might be my limit.
But first, Byleth and Leone team up to finish off the last Armored Knight.
I'll manage.
Higher level white magic grants more experience than heal does, so that's why I'm making Marianne use Physic.
Leave it to me.
In the end, I send Byleth over where he can at least help Hilda out. This was a slight mistake. I should have put him where Marianne is, because Raphael can't run all the way around Dedue. But it hardly matters, so whatever. This is me looking at what I've done and realizing I have neatly boxed Raphael out of getting any bonuses from Hilda or Byleth. Even without axe prowess, Raphael gets enough support bonuses to make this work 99.9980001% of the time. And that does it. There's no suspense here, Seth. It's a complete shutout for the Golden Deer.
And the winners are the Golden Deer.
Edelgard, Dimitri, Hanneman, and Manuela ought to be ashamed of themselves. The early game is over, the middle game is about to begin, and that gives us a lot to talk about before we dive in. Please subscribe to follow along. I'll see you next time.